Hello viewers, welcome to your show, Aussiewood HardTalk show, brought to you by KoollifeTV. My name is Victoria Mayuen, your host. Before I proceed, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodian of this land, which we are meeting in today, the Wajak people of the Noongar Nation. We would like to pay our respect to their elders, past, present, and emerging. Today with me in the studio is a very special guest. It is she is a very resilient woman. She is someone who has impacted our community positively, and she is a politician that has broke a lots of barriers and made history in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Honorable Ayor Makur Chuot.
Exclusive at KoollifeTV.com.
Hello Ayor, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Victoria. Thank you so much for having me, and I give acknowledgement to you and Koollife for bringing such a fantastic platform for advocacy in our community. Can I also begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians on the land on which you meet, the Wajak people of Noongar Nation. I pay my respect to the elders past, present, and emerging. And it is a very important time, as we know. The 14th of October, we are having a very important referendum that is coming in Australia, which is to support the Indigenous, our First Nation people, to have their voices heard in our constitution, and also is a very important referendum for us to actually give an opportunity for Indigenous to advise us, for us to listen as the government and the community, for them to have an achievement of their community, because for many years we know many issues are occurring within the Indigenous community, and it is important for us to actually listen and give them that opportunity. So the result could be, for us to have a very fantastic, freedom, and of course, peace within the Indigenous community and the Multicultural community, and then the wider community. So yeah, it is a very important time. Yeah.
Okay, definitely. And I'm voting a yes.
Yeah, good to know. Good to know. Yeah. And you know what? I would encourage anyone out there. If it means that we go out, as the community leaders, community advocates, to talk to our elders in our language, and to really teach them, the Uluru statement, for it to be really interpreted to people who don't understand what it is. There's a lot of information online on the voice referendum online. Also, you can contact your local member of parliament, your particularly your federal member of parliament, and find out more information on the voice referendum. Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you for those information. And that was a good point, even if we have to explain in other languages. Yeah, definitely that's something that we will continue to support and work on as a community. So Ayor, please, welcome to our show. Please tell us about yourself, where you were born, and how you ended up in this beautiful country.
So I'm originally from South Sudan, but as you know, Victoria, most of us, we grew up in between countries. So I was born in Ethiopia. I was born in a refugee camp when, of course, our country was at a civil war. There was a lot of movement between our community members moving to a place where they can find shelter. So I was born in Ethiopia, then returned back to South Sudan when I was 2. Unfortunately, my father was killed in the war, and from that, my mother has then decided to move us to another place, which she ended up going to Kakuma refugee camp, and she finally managed to actually move me there and my sibling. So live in the camp for many years, as you know, is basic for living, and of course the safety was the most important thing for us. And in 2005 we were very fortunate to be granted a visa for us to come to Australia. Yeah.
It's an amazing story. Yeah. So Honorable Ayor, please share with us how did you become a politician in Australia?
So, to be honest, I am one of those people. I'm sure many people know me as someone who have always been in the community. I always try to get my hand dirty as possible. But how did I get into politics? It was through giving back. So, a few years ago, I happened to have the former member from Rabuka, Janine Freeman, who supported me a lot with some of the events that I used to organize in the community. And what I did by then, I basically said, you know what, I think Labour Party aligns to my value, and this party is a party where I can see government really working towards the less vulnerable community members. And what I did by that time, I basically, signed up to be a volunteer in Janine's campaign, and also supported her throughout. And when an opportunity came out, I was basically asked to run for a seat. That from the beginning we weren't sure that I was going to win the seat, but luckily, because we had the victory in the Mark McGowan government, I was able to secure a seat. So that's how I got into politics. So what I can say to people out there is that it is important for you to actually integrate into the society, because this is our new country, this is our new home. It is important for us to actually be involved in the community. Getting involved in the community is so important. And for me, I happen to involve myself in so many community, including my Labour community. That's how I got the opportunity to represent, the overall, what we've been asking for many years, the diversity. And not only me, I'm the only diversity member in Parliament. I think we Labour Party, we have done an incredible job when you really talk about, representation at a high level.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. And this is a definitely well-deserved position that you are in today. It's always, the people who volunteer always have a beautiful story. It's always, I myself, the job that I do every day, I went in there as a placement student, and then I stayed back as a volunteer, and until today I still have a job. So it's always good to give back to the community. And
totally agree, Victoria, and I know you're one of the people that who have impacted so many young people, and including myself. You have supported me from past when I used to do all my programs in the community. So you don't have to, everybody knows the work that you do in the community, genuinely. Yeah.
So, Honorable Ayor, another question for you. Please tell us about the challenges and failures that you have faced in your life that have shaped you to be this influential, amazing person that you are today.
Look, challenges. To be honest, as you know, being a woman is a challenge itself. So you could go back. And that is to do with reflection of my mother. From her losing my father when she was very young, and she had to be a single mother. So that's a challenge itself. The fact that we were not able to get what we want throughout because we didn't have both parents. So that was one of the challenges that we had with my siblings growing up. The second challenge, of course, that I had my son when I was very young. I was a teen mom. He's 16 now. It was very challenging, as you know, being a South Sudanese woman. It's a taboo. It's a problem when you get pregnant, and even a challenge too when you are very young. So, to me, to be honest, if I didn't have my son, I don't know if I would have been who I am today, because I took up a very big responsibility from a very early age, and it has shaped me to be a woman I am today, because I was able, as a single mom that time, I was able to sit down and say, you know what, this is the situation that I'm in, and I have to be a good role model to my son, and that's what I did for many years. It was challenging as a young person to be a mother. Secondly, two challenges. Being a migrant in Australia, I came with two things in this beautiful country. I couldn't speak English. I didn't have a skill set. So, learning a new language is very difficult. Fitting in as well in school was another big challenge. You know, and also, you know, being able to get a meaningful employment was one of the biggest problem. But throughout that, you know, because I'm one of those people that like to challenge myself, you know, I was able to look at my areas of improvement, and that's why I went back to studies and did my accounting degree prior to becoming a member of parliament. So I can at least, because I know education is the key. If you have your education, nobody can take it away from you, and that's what I did. I went back to school and invest in myself in that way. So at least I can equip myself. Yeah, but yeah, you know, one last challenge, as you know, Victoria, you know, being a mother, and also being in a job is another challenge. Since I got elected, many of you know that I have had 2 children so far. A child who is 2-year-old, and I have the little one now who's 6 months. It is not easy. If you could actually bring a camera in my house and look at the way, you know, trying to plan overnight, you know, getting up, you know, 2 hours early, or, you know, to just to make sure that I'm putting everything together and, you know, organizing the schedule for the next day for my kids so they can be, you know, they're not just being neglected. I'm being a mother and being a public community servant. You know, it's a challenge, but what I'm really proud about of what I do every day is the fact that I'm able to encourage women. You know, to be honest, there's no good time to have children, because yes, you know, you got to plan, but I mean, like, if I wait now and say I want to wait until I finish my political career, I think by that time I would be old. And the more you get old, it means that your body cannot keep it up. You know, I can see the comparison between my 2 children, between my 3 children. Like when I had the pain, and, you know, I had so much energy, but now, you know, with it's the 2-1, you know, you're getting a bit older, so it's better to just do what you can do and have the acceptance that, you know, I want to have children, and I am comfortable with that, and you know, I don't have to stress myself out, because it is a choice. I made that choice that I want to have children, and I made a choice that I want to be a politician to serve the community as well. Yeah.
It's definitely, it's just what inspired the most about you is just the resiliency. And just, I remember one time coming to your house and just seeing your laptop on the side and you breastfeeding and you still checking your emails and things. I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing, you know. This is a definition of a strong woman. I didn't tell you that in your face, but I just looked at it, I was like, this is so beautiful. You know, motherhood cannot stop you from, you know, having a career or serving the community and stuff. Yeah. Okay, Honorable Ayor, we're going to go on a short break. Viewers, we'll be right back. If you have any business or event that you wanted to advertise, please get in contact with us at KoollifeTV for any business, advertisement, or event. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Exclusive at KoollifeTV.com.
Hello viewers, welcome back to the show. Honorable Ayor is still on the hot seat. Welcome back to the show, Ayor. Honorable Ayor.
It's okay, Victoria, just call me Ayor.
I'm just so used to.
Yeah, it's
Alright.
fine.
Now let's talk personal.
No
Yeah.
problem.
So who inspired you the most?
I don't know, I have so many people that inspired me the most. I get inspired by women that are really happy for one another, women that support one another. I could go, I have few lists, but I don't want to pick anyone in particular, so I can favorite someone out.
Can you pick one? Because you're going to shout out.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay. Tell us about your past career, such as like your modeling.
So yeah, I used, when I was much skinnier, I used to be in fashion industry, and I think many of you know that I took it into an international level. So I modeled for many years, 8 years at least, or 10, in the industry, you know, internationally and here in Australia. Yeah.
Yeah, and then moved into accounting.
And
or
then,
what
you know,
happened?
and then basically, of course, I have seen a need of me actually going back to studies, and I went back to studies to do my bachelor's in business, majored in accounting. Yeah.
Where will be your next 4 years look like?
To be honest, I'm one of the people that who I'm always very very calm with anything that happens. So it doesn't matter if I don't get elected again. I know that for sure I will still be around and support the community and do good for myself. But you know what? I think since I've been in the job for 2 years, I can see that I really love the job. The fact that I can be a service to the community in a wider level and make an impact in a broader level is something that I feel like, even though the job could have its challenges, you know, I like to have a long-term career in politics if we are very fortunate as a party. So so I can keep running. As you know, you have to go on election.
Yeah.
So if my constituents that elected me are happy with our party and happy with our government, I hope for us as the Labour government to come back in the next term. Yeah.
You, like, with all this that you're doing, being a mother and like a career, a wife, a sister, how do you maintain your mental health and your general well-being?
Very fantastic question, Victoria. I think when you know the purpose of why, when you know the purpose of why you're doing whatever that you do, it is easy for you to maintain your mental health. For me, I know the purpose. The purpose is for me to serve my community, and I'm proud of it. The purpose of actually inspiring my family, you know, my children, my siblings, and people who are around me, is one of the things that I get up every day and say, you know what, I am strong and I can do it. The purpose of, you know, having wonderful friends that support me and see me as someone that who can make a great impact, you know. So, you know, I think I base everything on the purpose to why I'm doing what I do every day, and I think that what really, really helps me.
So how do you deal with the negative comments and people and discrimination?
To be honest, since I got into this job, I think when you as a person, when you go out there and you're trying to look for, you know, for negativity, you get it. That's what I say. So I'm the type that will get up every morning and do what I do, and just showcase the goodness of me to people and say that I'm here actually, to do good in life, just like you. I got no issues. And to be honest, since I got into the Labour government, we all have seen it. I've been supported.
So, Honorable Ayor, now, like, let's talk about like traditional values. Like you, as an African South Sudanese woman, especially coming from the Dinka tribe, how do you maintain, Honorable Ayor, a mother, a wife?
You know what?
How do you balance? That's
yeah.
the word. Yeah.
You know what? It's easy to balance. It is easy to balance, of course. You know, you have to come from somewhere to be. We all know we come from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I'm a proud South Sudanese woman. I love my tradition. You know, as you can see, I'm always braiding my hair, inspiring young people.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, as you know, growing up, you know, I wasn't exposed into an environment where I could, you know, speak up and really, train myself to be a politician I am today. Mm-hmm. So, so I can say it's great to have both. You know, I love my Australian way and I love my African. There's some things that I can really say that I can't take away as an African woman. The respect, the resilience of an African woman, the hardworking of an African woman, and I thank my mother, because growing up you feel like, we are not being treated fairly as women. But of course, our males, our men, brothers, they should have been taught, to have equal opportunity as us growing up. I still believe that should have been done because I'm doing that with my son. But I feel like, all the stuff that I was taught when I was younger, the reason to why I do what I do every day. If I was born here, I don't think I would be juggling being a mother with two young children, like they are like twins. And I'm like a full-time politician,
Amazing. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Now let's talk favorite. What's your best color?
I have always liked plain colors, but since I got into modeling industry, I got exposed to colors. So of course I would say I love red color, but I don't wear a lot of red colors. But of course, that's my color now.
Is that
as
a Labour member? Yeah, okay. All right. You're in the right place, definitely.
Yeah.
So, food? Best food?
Oh, my God. I love my welcome fruit, which is okra, okra soup. But you make sure that you have to cook it the South Sudanese way, not the Western way, which you make it as a curry. But South Sudanese way, I do not want to explain to the viewers, but I think my West African people will relate to me.
Best fruits?
I love bananas, and you just need one.
Drinks?
Currently, I like apple juice.
Best music?
What I love, both. I could say, I like music when, when I like it. So I have different. So I could count reggae. I love my West African music, my East African music, Kenyan, all the way to Alakiva back in the days. I could say. My any international music that pop up that I like.
Movies?
Oh, I don't know if I remember any favorite movie.
Okay, how about best book?
I've not made up my mind to which best book I have read so far.
Okay. Best car?
Best car? I like simple stuff. I'm a Toyota girl.
All right, let's talk.
Anything that you can maintain and it's cheaper to run.
Okay.
Toyota.
Let's talk about tech now. So Apple phone or Android?
I've been using Apple for a long time.
Apple computer or Microsoft computer?
Microsoft.
Okay, why?
Being in accounting industry, I think it's easy, user-friendly for me. To use Microsoft with the features in it. I think I don't know. I like Apple phone.
SUV or sport cars?
I have SUV car.
Okay. Electric car or gas cars?
We are moving into the world of electric cars, so definitely I can see that. At the moment I'm using a petrol car, so hopefully in the future.
Is that something you will consider?
I will consider that,
Okay.
because we are moving into trying to save the nature.
Manual or auto? Are you manual or auto?
Oh, I'm an auto girl.
Can you open your car bonnet in 1 minute?
Yes, I can. Less than 1 minute, definitely.
Oh, amazing. Can't even do that.
I can.
One female, I'm just fine.
I was meant to be born as a man. I can do things with my hand.
I'll call you.
The only thing that I can't do is to change my tires. But I think if I get stuck somewhere, I got an idea.
So, do you prefer traveling by plane or by sea?
Oh, I'm still not a good swimmer, so I think. But either way, I think anything that is going to take me to my destination as soon as possible with the current situation, flying for now.
Okay.
But
So
I've been on a big ferry before. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So your name is Ayor, right? So can you please spell your name backward in just 5 seconds?
R-O-Y-A.
Okay. Talking about the name Ayor. What happened to the name Sarah?
So as you know, growing up, we normally get Christian names. And I happen to have a Christian name, which is Sarah, which I got no issues with. But you know what? I love my Ayor. It's a very unique name, as you know. I was named after the best cow that my mother was married with, which is Kala Brown Ayor. And that cow has lived for many years, apparently. Didn't die quickly. So, by the way, I was my name, when you tell people my name, I was named after a brown color cow.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ayor, for coming to our Aussiewood HardTalk. I hope this seat has not been very hot for you, but it's been an honor having you here and just having to share your stories and your journey with us. Hopefully we'll get to see you next time, and wishing you all the best with everything, with your family and your career, and all the best, and my God continue to bless you.
Yeah, thank you, Victoria, and Koollife for having me at your show. This is a great platform for people of our community to have conversation, because conversation are the way to fix issues that we have in the community. We get inspired by what we hear every day. So so thank you, Victoria, and Koollife, keep doing what you're doing, and you know where to find me. My office is in Westminster, Unit 1/386 Wanneroo Road in Westminster. My staff are there. We are there for the community. You know, if it means we have to direct you to our local federal member or our local member of parliament in your area, we have all those information to support you with. If you have any issues, you know where to reach out. You reach out to my office. I'm here to support. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Victoria.
Hello, viewer. We've come to the end of our show. If you have any business that you wanted to advertise, please get in contact with us at www.KoollifeTV.com. Please don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe to our channel, KTV. My name is Victoria Mayuen, your host. Bye for now.
Exclusive at KoollifeTV.